Somebody sent me this picture of young Sue when she was growing up. She joined the circus at one point. But if you actually look at the picture carefully and zoom in, you'll find that one of her circus buddies looks like it was Zaheer. I was kind of disappointed in Lynn in the fact that she was not half as pissed as I expected her to be after finding out that she had let Korra go. But then again, that might be because, you know, Lynn is more relaxed and at peace with herself after having the acupuncture flashback. This episode, called Stakeout, for the most part, takes part in a sand pueblo. I believe we've seen this little pueblo, or at least this area before, in Avatar: The Last Airbender. Kind of reminds me of, like, the architecture kind of reminds me of one of those pueblos you would find in New Mexico. There's a pretty long Pai Sho scene in this episode with Asami and Bolin, which I guess was done for comedic purposes, but at the same time, it also foreshadows the name of Zaheer's group, which we now know is called the Red Lotus. Fun fact, Shady Shin was the one who taught Bolin how to play Pai Sho. Now, if you're like me, you're probably going, who the fuck is Shady Shin? Shady Shin is the most important character in the Avatar verse. Shame on me for not remembering his character. Now let's talk about Ai Wei. Now, Ai Wei really disappointed me in this episode. I'm gonna tell you why. He is one of the few people that can tell when somebody is lying to them because he can sense the vibrations of the heartbeat and the breathing of an individual by just, you know, putting his feet on the earth and feeling the earth. However, the first time that Mako and Bolin were following him into his little room, he had no idea he was being followed. If you can tell if somebody's lying by feeling the vibrations, you should be able to know. See, here's the thing, and this is from another series that I love called Hunter x Hunter. There's a character that is very, very prone to hearing. Like, this character has superhuman hearing, right? And she knows that every single person on this earth has a different way of walking. Even if it's, you know, the variation is very, very slight, you can tell the difference between someone's way of walking and somebody else's. So if I were Ai Wei, you know, I should be able to know, to distinguish Mako and Bolin's footsteps on the earth just by fucking feeling them. And it'd be like, yo, there's two people behind me. That's kind of suspicious. Later on, he goes into the spirit world. I understand that. I mean, if he's in the spirit world, he can't do shit. But the first time, he had no idea he was being followed. I'm like, I'm sorry. And then he gets thrown into the fog, which in Korra, getting thrown into the fog is kind of like dying. Zaheer, however, really impressed me in this episode because not only can he teleport within the spirit world, but he can actually, well, first of all, just being able to go into the spirit world is an achievement enough. But this guy can actually talk, transmit his thoughts into his brain, out of his mouth, while he's in the spirit world. I like the references to book 2 that they made in this episode. The first one with the spirits helping Korra out, you know. Sometimes I forget, oh, these spirits are here, right? And they can be helpful. Sometimes I just forget they exist in the real world. And then there's a reference to Unalaq, which, according to Zaheer, was the one responsible for planning the kidnapping of Korra. But the most important part of this entire episode is that we find out what Zaheer's motivation is, in that he wants to remove any type of political power and structure so as to have balance. Now, Korra says that's not balance. To me, it just sounds like playing fucking anarchy. Korra says that will only lead to chaos, and Zaheer doesn't have a problem with this because he says, okay, that in order for something new and better to come about, things have to be removed. Now, what I like about this interaction is that Korra doesn't disagree with Zaheer 100%, just like we wouldn't disagree with Zaheer 100%, because we know what politicians do. We know that power sometimes leads to corruption, and, you know, there's a lot of inequality in the world. So, you know, she agrees that something needs to be done, I think, but, you know, just completely obliterating any type of structure is too extreme. However, I think this story would be amazing if, so you know how Korra and Asami get captured by the Earth Queen by the end of this episode. What if she gets tortured? What if Korra gets so traumatized that she actually gets so infuriated and filled up with hate that she actually starts thinking that Zaheer might be right? What if she sees Asami being tortured right in front of her eyes and she just snaps? She's just like, I'm gonna kill all of you. And she goes ham on the Dai Li agents and starts bending the crap out of them and just torturing them and just, you know, gets fueled with with hate and just darkness, to the point where she turns into like this huge threat. She turns into the real dark avatar, not some Unalaq bullshit. And she's become so powerful that not even Zaheer and his group can stop her, and Mako and Bolin can't stop her. And the final fight is between her and Tenzin's like, "You were the chosen one." And so they end up killing Korra because she turned into too big of a threat. And by the end of the series, you know, somebody shows up with a baby, and that's the new avatar, the new hope. I hope that's where the story is going. If it's not, then, well, maybe you could just watch Star Wars. Obviously, that was a joke. But I do think that this storyline has a lot of potential, because from the start of the season, we've seen a lot of gray areas. We've explored and just been acquainted with a lot of gray characters like Kai, who, you know, he's a thief, but he's kind of okay. He's an airbender. He's trying to learn the ways of a nomad. You know, we have Sue, who, you know, she's made some mistakes, and now she's kind of sketchy because of, you know, she might be in cahoots with Zaheer. And then we have Zuko, who throughout the entirety of Last Airbender, he struggled to find out who he really was and what side he was going to stand on. We also see how Toph, even though like a lot of people like her, you know, she turned out to be kind of a shitty mom. So I really want to see Korra struggle with these issues, because ever since, you know, book 1, Book Water, we've known that, you know, the Avatar is the protector of the world. He's there to maintain balance. And like, but nobody has actually really questioned, well, why? Just because Rava picks you? That's it? That's the only explanation? The bending in this looked great. I always love the way the lava looks for some reason. Bolin was great. He's like, I can't beat this guy. It's like I'm giving him ammo. People have been bringing this up, and this was actually painfully obvious in this episode, but Mako could lightning bend in book 1. What happened with that? You're fighting a water bender, dude. I'm kind of wondering if like the creators just forgot that Mako could lightning bend, or even worse, that they hope that we forgot. Speaking of Mako, I think he had the best line in this episode when he says, "Guys, I don't know how, but Water Arm Lady and Lava Guy are onto us." And Asami's all like, "How? I just told you I don't know how." Stupid, sexy girl, pay attention. That's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I thought the episode was pretty good. Let me know what you thought in the comment section below. Like the review if you did. Subscribe to my channel, wherever the thing is, and I'll catch you guys later.